Welcome back. I've got Devin Gonzalez on the line. Devin, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I am awesome. Really, really looking forward to this conversation. You've done some great, great things so far, and it's still early, so you got a lot more to go. But I want to share a little bit about you, and we'll jump into the conversation.
All right.
So,
Uh,
go ahead and tell us about you.
yeah, definitely. So, I mean, my background came from the fitness industry, right? I was a martial arts instructor when I was a kid, and that led into me becoming a personal trainer during college and, thinking it was an amazing college job, right? Because it's flexible hours, you make your own schedule and so forth. But what I didn't know, I was really starting to find my purpose and find my passion. And so I switched my major from business management to kinesiology and, started diving in deeper into personal training and went from corporate to private gyms and then started my own personal training company, which has kind of snowballed the role to opening my own gym and now launching a national franchise.
Congratulations for that, and also for having the awareness to go, you know what, I'm going to shift gears on this because I see something here where I can you know, basically create some impact. And boy, tell me about impact. When you're franchising something, when you have an idea, and all of a sudden now you're having conversations about franchising it and expanding it across the country. I mean, that is amazing. So congratulations to you for that. So walk us through that journey. When you decided, okay, I'm going to switch from business management, which is a great degree, but um, not to make fun of business people, but not as exciting as the other work you're doing. So walk us through that path.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the business management for me, it was a better choice than doing undeclared or undecided, right? I was like, this is pretty a blanket, degree. I could do anything with this. And that was my original thought process for going with it. But Um, I mean, the path of switching to kinesiology was still didn't know what I wanted to do yet, but the doors I saw opened aligned with what I honestly filled my cup more than anything. And I realized that when I was personal training, like I got a natural fulfillment out of seeing my clients see success and not from being like, oh, look, I'm the best trainer. I did that. I know they did it, but being able to have a small impact or an imprint on their life that, they'll never forget meant more to me. And that was, why I didn't even feel like work. But then, every personal trainer when they first start off says they're going to open a gym, right? It's always this thing that you hear every trainer say. And I wanted to make sure that, when I wanted to open a gym, like I wasn't going to be one of those that said it and didn't do it. For me, it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And so once I opened the gym, then there was the deciding factor like, okay, how am I going to scale this? Am I going to try to just do it, by myself in terms of opening up more corporate locations? Or did I want to franchise it and so forth? And all these thoughts were going through while I was still building the first location. And for me, one of my core values is to have a positive impact on as many lives as I can while I can. And so I thought about it and I was like, well, I could still open corporate locations, but why wouldn't I go with the franchise route? Because now I could have a ripple effect on the franchisees, right? But now, even more so, the members that they're changing their lives, I get to have an indirect ripple on that imprint that they're getting left with. So, for us, like that was the main reason why I wanted to go that route. Plus, I'm always one of those people where I like to take the path least traveled, right? And be like, being a trainer to opening a gym, like you're already in that 1%. But then going from gym owner to franchisor, like now you're in like the 0.1%. So now it's like the next level is becoming, one of the top brands and not just being someone that has a few locations.
And that's the beauty of you're not settling at it because a lot of people go, you know what, this is good. I've got a good life. I got the cars that I want. I live where I live. Relationships, everything's awesome. I feel good. Obviously, healthy. So, and you're helping people, and you're like, hey, this is good. But you're like, no, no. There's more. There's more. I want more. I want to grow more. I want to have a bigger impact on it. And going and I talk with people that have been in similar situations, where they are a franchisor for whatever they happen to be in. I'll ask them. It's like, so, what does it feel like when you walk into a franchisee's location and you see your logo? It's your brand. It's your that's from you, and it's not in a town that you spent, live in. You travel and you happen to go there and you look at it, and it's like it's got to be an amazing sensation to see that and feel that because it was once an idea. It was once a, yeah, I could do this. You're writing it down on a napkin or a piece of paper, at a coffee shop, or maybe you're lifting weights in a gym that you're working out right now, and you're thinking about it, and you're looking around the gym that you're in and going, okay, if I have a gym, I'm going to do this instead of this. It's just one of those things where when you actually see what you dreamed to be physically tangible and you can literally touch it, it's got to be an amazing sensation.
No, it definitely is. And I think, I mean, it almost stems from like when I was a kid in high school, I opened up like a t-shirt company. And for me, like that same feeling of having people, text me or call me and say that they saw someone wearing my shirt and, across the valley and stuff like that. It's like, wow, it's so cool. And it's not for anyone, even for the gym and going into a franchisee's location. It's not so much like about me and about like, this is mine. It's so cool to see that vision, other people have gravitated towards it and the impact you're leaving on their lives. And so for me, it's not even like walking in, even at my own gym, like unless someone actually knows that I'm the owner of this location. Yeah, I don't tell people that I'm the owner when I'm on the floor. So if someone walks in and I happen to take them through their free 3-day pass or whatever, I just tell them it's, hey, we have two trainers on the floor. It's me and so and so, right? I don't say I'm the owner, and it's not about that. So seeing other people's lives change because of a vision that you once had, it's an undescribable feeling, to be honest.
Yeah, you're not hiding behind a title. You're like,
Mhm.
if I walk into the bathroom and I see there's towels on the floor, I'm gonna pick it up. Yeah, yeah, but that's just who you are, and not letting them. Oh, by the way, not only am I the owner, but I'm here doing this too. It's when you have the power, and it's a power to help people improve their lives. Mm, Obviously, from a physical standpoint, their physical health has so many benefits to their mental health, because the body can withstand stress much easier, as well as you're rested, you feel better, so stressful situations don't stick. And I used to work in primary care as a director of multiple site primary care clinics, and you see it all the time. You saw the people that are coming into the clinic all the time. And, I'm not judging, but just an observation is no, they did not get anywhere near the amount of physical activity that they needed to. And, based on their medical conditions, it's like, yeah, it shows, and a lot of the challenges that they face, a lot of it would have been mitigated if they would have just had any physical activity. But, they don't, and it spirals for people. And that's why, it's kind of paraphrasing, the old Buddha quote of like, when someone wants to meditate, it's like, okay, meditate for 2 minutes. Well, I don't have time to meditate for 2 minutes. Okay, well, then you need to meditate for an hour. It's
Yeah.
the same kind of thing. It's like I don't have time to exercise. And like you don't. Okay, if they have an iPhone and they tell me that, or if they don't have time to do something else, if they have an iPhone, I say, can you go into screen time for me for a minute, please? I want to see how many hours a day you're on TikTok or Instagram. Oh, it looks like you spend about 3 hours a day on TikTok. Do you think you could carve out half an hour of that? And in some exercise machines, not a lot, but some, you could look at those while you're working out. I wouldn't recommend it because then, well, you're going to get injured and you're not going to be able to work out, and that doesn't help anybody. But people make choices and decisions, and physical health, mental health, it's one entity that we're dealing with in this body. And the better you take care of yourselves, the better you're going to feel. That means your cognitive abilities are going to be better. You're going to be able to see opportunities like in your situation, all the things that you have done thus far in your business and the franchise and growing and all of that were part and parcel because physically you were taking care of yourself. And by doing that, your brain had the clarity to be able to come up with ideas and dream and plan out and research and investigate and all of that stuff. If you're fatigued, you don't feel good, you would have got home after work, wherever you happen to be working at the time, and you're like, okay, well, I need to do some research on, franchisees. You're gonna be like, I'm too tired, Netflix, and then away you go. And then you wouldn't be where you're at today. So, for people that are interested in becoming an entrepreneur or potentially coming up with a product or a service where you could look at a franchise opportunity, um, take care of yourself physically. Make that part of your repertoire because it'll make you a better entrepreneur. It'll make you a better spouse, friend, coworker. Everything in your life improves from this. And it's it's easy to do, but quoting the late Jim Rohn, it's also easy not to. And unfortunately, and you see it, and all you gotta do is go walking down the street. It does not take us long to determine that there's a lot of people that are not getting the proper nutrition or the physical activity they need. And that's why it's so important that you're out there creating these opportunities for franchisees to address this situation because the fields are rich of people that would benefit by what you have to offer.
No, definitely. I agree with everything that you just said. And that's actually one of the reasons why we created our brand and our fitness concept, because our model is basically a boot camp style model, but we don't have class times, right? So we eliminated all the factors that typically members would give to cancel their membership or not come in and so forth. Members, let's say they can't always do an hour workout. No problem. Our workout is customizable to you. So you can do a 30-minute workout, 75-minute workout, all up to you. It's like the same thing that you said earlier. We go into, like, we looked at your calendar for the day, or we looked at your calendar yesterday. Do you think there was 30 minutes yesterday that you could have gotten a workout in? Right. And 9 times out of 10, it's like, yes. And so it really comes down to setting your priorities. Like you said, it's easy to do it, but it's also easy not to do it. And so if you realize, I mean, the hard thing is, I think new entrepreneurs or people that want to become entrepreneurs think that you're not going to be tired in the process of becoming an entrepreneur or growing your business. That's part of the name of the game. Is like, there is going to be a phase where you need to do extra legwork. Regardless of how you feel, regardless of how tired you are, your purpose and your mission to achieve those goals needs to be greater than your desire to watch Netflix.
You scared a bunch of people because they thought you were going to say leg day, and they're like, no, not leg day. It's like, why is everybody complaining about leg? I get it, why, but uh, your legs, until you can't use them, or you got an injury or something like that, like an Achilles issue or heels issue or something like that, you don't recognize how much your legs do for you. So take care of your legs and the rest of the torso and the thing between your ears. All those things are very, very important. And I love that format that you don't have the classic because time and time again, as you said, excuse me, people will like, oh crap, I can't make the class time because it's 6:30 on Wednesday and I just got called into a late meeting and I'm gonna be here till 6:30, so I'm gonna miss it. And I'm like, well, I just won't go in. Well,
Right.
and guess what? That happens again and again and again, and all of a sudden it's like you forget the pin for your locker, or you're like, okay, what's my pin to log in, or where's my fob or whatever I'm using to, work out to keep track of things. Where's all this? Instead, it's like, well, you come in when you come in, and you get there, and you're like, okay, it's it's a great design. It kind of reminds me, there's a company I help out with that does Lego robotics and coding and things like that, and it's all student-based curriculum when it comes to when they work on things. So it's not like, okay, well, this week we're going to work on this as a class. No, it's individual. So you come in, normally on a Thursday, and all of a sudden you're not able because you're out of town or something, and you come in for a makeup on a Saturday. Okay, you pick up where you left off. There's the course. This is where you're at, and you go. It eliminates one of the excuses, and I think that's huge, especially for people that are early on into, you know, a new workout routine. Because I'm preaching to the choir here. We know what January looks like. New Year's resolutions, gyms are just jacked, pardon the pun there. And by the middle of February, it's like, okay, the regulars are back. Okay, we're all right, that's good. I wish it wasn't that way, but that's the reality of it, and I see it in the gym. I'm thankful, I live in a condo building. There's a gym in my building, so there's no excuse. All I got to do is press a number and walk to gym. I don't have to put on a coat. I don't have to do anything. It's right there. So no excuses unless it's closed for cleaning or something. But again, people will come up with all kinds of reasons, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on that because I've got my experience and personally, but also in seeing others and the excuses they come up with, but all that. But what do you think, from your perspective, is some of the common reasons why people will either stop or build their own kind of self-limiting blocks that prevent them to continue on the path of taking better care of themselves physically?
I mean, I think it's past experiences is probably number one, right? I tried it once, and this happened, and now it's happening again. It's not going to work for me. But I think the hardest part for people to realize is that the hardest part of your workout sometimes is just getting to the gym, right? And so once you get to the gym, and I own a gym, I own a fitness franchise, and even for myself, like I still face those battles, and and I'll be at my gym. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to get started. And then you do your first set or you do your first exercise, and you're like, all right, well let me just do this exercise, and then you throw in another one, and so it's like sometimes just getting started is the hardest part, like you were saying, and so you have to think like how many times have you skipped your workout being telling yourself that you'll go in an hour and then you end up don't you not going, or there's X, Y, and Z to do today. I can't make it into the gym, and then you're still on the couch for a given 2 hours, and then all of a sudden 2 hours passes and you're like, man, I wish I would have gone to the gym, and now it's too late to go, right? So it's like how many times does that happen? If that's an occurrence, like realize that your issue is just getting to the gym. And while it may be difficult, anything that's difficult it gets easier with time. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy every time, but it definitely gets easier. So that's just the thing is you have to overcome that motivational hurdle, right? Because people think they need to be motivated to do things, and that's where I like to say you don't need to be motivated. You just need to be disciplined, right? Discipline is a skill that's built over time of doing the things that you need to do, even when you don't feel like doing them. Motivation's fleeting. It comes, it goes. You watch a motivational clip or an Arnold workout or whatever the case may be, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna drink my pre-workout. I'm gonna go in a minute, and then all of a sudden, you're not watching the video anymore, and that motivation starts to die out, and then you're like, I'll go in an hour, right? So it's like you have to realize that you don't need to be motivated. Your results don't care if you're motivated or not. They just care if you go and do it. Right. So that dedication starts to get built and that skill of dedication gets built on the days that you don't feel like doing it.
Yeah, man, I always say discipline eats motivation for lunch, and one of the things that I do, and I help organizations and teams with burnout recovery and burnout prevention. And an exercise that I do, and special thanks to Virginia, shout out if she's listening, uh, she taught me this years ago, is, and it goes back to Michael Hyatt, who used to be the CEO of Thomas Nelson Publishing, and he's a leadership consultant and does great work. He had a phrase that he used. I don't know if it was him that said it originally, but I've heard it in other places. What gets scheduled gets done.
Mm.
So your workout, your exercise is self-care. It's me time. It's fun time. I know you're like, "Well, leg day is not fun." Work with me for a minute. You're taking care of yourself. You're setting yourself up to be the best version of you. Because when you are at your best, you're going to perform better in every aspect of your life, whether it's work, relationships, you name it. You're going to physically be and mentally be better. So you need to schedule it and stick to it. If you have to gamify it or convince yourself, look, would you skip a meeting with your boss? Don't skip too many of them because it's not going to be good for your financial health. It's the same thing here. It's like figure out how often you want to work out, work with your gym and someone that knows what to do and can get you a curriculum and a program to follow so you're constantly getting the physical activity that you need. Schedule it. Don't cancel it. Don't treat it as, well, see if I can squeeze in a workout. No, don't squeeze in a 15-minute chat with your boss. Okay. Check-in meeting. Okay. That's what you squeeze in. Taking care of yourself, exercise, making sure you have leisure time, investing in your knowledge and all of that stuff. Schedule those. Don't move them. Okay, let's say you have date night with your spouse or partner. Okay. Well, I'm not going to do that. You skip a few of those, guess what? You don't have a partner anymore. They're going to be like, it's just your body is going to be doing that. It's like, oh, you don't want to work out. All right, well, guess what? We're going to start putting on a little extra weight here. You're going to feel fatigue. You're going to be in a fog. Your aches and pains are going to be there, which means you're lethargic, which means Monday morning hits and you don't feel right. And you got to perform at work because there's a big deadline coming up. You're skipping it and you're not doing well at it, or you half ass it, and your boss goes, "What is this?" If you take care of yourself, guess what? You're going to crush that. You'll probably get it done the weekend before or the weekday. Don't work on the weekend unless you have to, kids. But some industries you have to work on the weekend. I get it. But I've seen, even personal experience, when I feel better, even like, I don't really feel like, doing my morning walk. Okay, I I did it. You know, I come back, I'm energized, I feel better. Okay. That thing I was like, I don't really want to do that. I went through and crushed it and, a lot faster. It's once you figure out the connection of your physical health and your mental health and your cognitive abilities and your skills and your drive and discipline, once you figure that formula out for yourself, you're going to perform better at everything you do. And too many people are skipping out on that and they need to stop doing that. They need to take better care of themselves because when they do that, when you make something, product or service, society benefits from that. Society is benefiting because you had a vision to, I want to not only own a gym, I want to franchise it because I want to make a huge impact in this world. And you've done that and you're doing that. If you didn't have the discipline to do that, you may have ended up with a gym, but that's where it would have ended. And you wouldn't have impacted the countless number of people that you're impacting. So I say all of this for the entrepreneurs that are listening to the show or single parents or whoever is listening right now. Dentist, for some reason, I have a big dentist audience. I don't know why, but I do. But they get it too. They work some crazy hours. But you know what? Get that health because that way you can diagnose your patients better because you feel better. So that was kind of a long-winded rant, but also an endorsement of taking care of yourself. So, any final thoughts from you on what I said, or anything you want to share?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, on what you said too, like kind of going back to scheduling it with, just like you would with the importance like you would with your boss, right? That's the way I tell people too is you have to schedule it in your day. But now the misconception with that is that people think that if something comes up and they have to miss their workout for a legitimate reason, they don't reschedule it in the day. Like your day can be adaptable, right? Just like if you have to reschedule a meeting, you reschedule for later in the day and so forth, but it's back into the schedule. Just because you missed it doesn't mean it's gone forever. You go do it at a different time, but again, it's scheduled and it's easier to schedule the day before. It's easier to schedule the week before because things will come up throughout the day. If you try to do it on the fly, I guarantee you're going to come up with more excuses. So if you schedule your week out, I'm going to work out, let's say Monday, Wednesday, Friday at this time. Perfect. Now, every meeting that comes around, you schedule it like that is a normal meeting. So every other meeting fits around your workout time. And now all of a sudden you found that you have a given hour in your day or 30 minutes in your day to do it. But again, it really comes down to you realizing that to what you said, when you work out, you feel better. if you feel better, then you're going to do better. And doing the workouts, doing those things to make you have that mental clarity, you have to realize that that mental clarity also comes with that discipline skill, and how you do one thing is how you do everything. So all of a sudden you're at work and you don't want to do a task, you're prolonging it. The discipline from your workouts is also going to bleed into the discipline of your work ability, of your relationships, of your communication, all that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah, we're all this connected entity, and you will see dramatic improvements in your life and every aspect of it when you start implementing, the right physical activity for you. So, love this conversation. Where can people find out more about you and your gyms and everything else you're doing?
I mean, on all my social medias, it's pretty much Devin, Devan dot Gonzalez with a Z at the end, not a S. And then if you want to learn more about the gym or franchise, you can go to strive11fitness.com.
I'll have all that in the show notes. So, Devin, thank you again for your time, and thank you for being you. Really appreciate your time today.
Thank you.